What is up, everyone? It is that day of the week again, Thursday, and as promised, I'm going to be doing another Throwback Thursday. And today we are going to heading to Las Vegas. I heart Las Vegas. It is one of my favorite places to go. So I've actually been there not once, not twice, but 10 times. I love it there. So I will hopefully be going there again later this year, and possibly maybe a girls trip next year. So that might be in the works if that all works out. So what I will be talking about today is going to be a mixture of those 10 trips combined, kind of a summary in different categories, the best way I could get all of that information into one. I'm sure I'll be missing some stuff, so I might even do a part 2 later or once I travel there again. So we are going to get started. I am going to tell you about the hotels I stayed in. So I have gone there 8 times with my family, and we have stayed at the Paris every time. So I love the Paris. You know, and in the middle you have the cobblestone streets, the stores, like the bakery. It looks like you're in Paris. So it's an awesome place. When you're inside, you feel like you're out on the streets of Paris walking around. So I also went there for work one time, and we stayed at the Cosmopolitan, and so that was also very nice, a little bit more spread out. And the one thing I remember that really stood out to me was like the beds, the bedding and the pillows felt like you were sleeping on clouds, and it just like smells good in there. So another really awesome place. They have the big chandelier in the middle. So yeah, the Cosmopolitan is an awesome hotel. The third place I stayed at when I went with friends was the Flamingo. And that was also a fun place. Our room was decorated really funky and modern, and another great view. It was pretty affordable, so that was nice too, especially when we were all splitting the price. So that was a definite plus. And all of these hotels are right in the middle of the strip. So that is another thing that's nice, to be centrally located, so you can walk this way, that way, not have to spend your whole day walking down the strip and Ubering everywhere. So that's another thing I really like about the location of those 3. So now we are going to start with the shows. So some of the shows I've gone to, they have a ton of Cirque shows there. I've pretty much gone to all of the Cirque shows, and it's hard for me to pick a favorite because they're all just have like the different themes. So they're all so cool in their own way. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. So there's O that I've gone to, and that is the water theme. There's Le Rêve, which is, I believe that's like the dream. And so they have the funny clowns that come out, and then the acrobatics, and they all follow this storyline of the dream. There's also Ka, and they have this huge wall that moves up in the air. There's Mystere. So yeah, these all have just acrobatics and like a ton going on, and they're awesome shows. They are all just really cool. I can't pick a favorite, I don't think. I don't know. So I also went to One, which is the Michael Jackson show. So there's acrobatics and also music and dancing and all of Michael Jackson's songs. And that was also such an awesome show. It was really fun. And then 2 of the shows that are more of the 18 plus was Absinthe and Zombie Burlesque. So those were also really cool, but a little bit more raunchy. And Absinthe is in like a tent, kind of like a circus tent. And Zombie Burlesque, they're obviously, you know, zombies. So whatever you're kind of into, I don't know. They were all great in their own way. We also, I don't know if it's still there, but it was in the Paris. It was Jersey Boys. So it was, you know, a lot of singing those songs, and that was awesome too. I loved them all. They're all just awesome. So a long time ago, I don't know if this would still be there either, but we went to Evil Dead. I made my mom take me. Thank you, Mom. And it was based off of, it was like a parody based off of the Evil Dead movie, which I had just watched. So it's a little interesting. It kind of has to be your thing, like scary movies. And if you've watched the movie, it makes a lot more sense, and be like, oh, it all makes sense. Otherwise, you might not enjoy it as much. But and then we also, so recently we went to Piff the Magic Dragon. That was, thank you to Michael. Not necessarily my favorite show I've ever been to. You know, it was kind of interesting humor and dogs and magic. And I like dogs, but just not my favorite. It was interesting. We'll just say that. So there are some of the shows, some of the different ones that we have gone to, and they really are all great in their own ways. And if you, like I've said before, if you ever are having questions about this, if you're planning a trip there and you want to know something about a specific area, about a specific show, feel free to ask me. I will do my best to answer or help you find the answer if I can't figure it out. So we have also gone to a couple of concerts there. We went to a few in the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. So we went to Celine Dion and we also went to Shania Twain. Those were both awesome. The Coliseum is really cool. Caesar's Palace is awesome. It always kind of reminds me of The Hangover, you know, when they're in the hotel. And we also, so I've gone to a couple of, we went one time over a Memorial Day weekend, not realizing that a ton of acts go there also because it's a holiday weekend. So when we went to a few of the different clubs, there would be all these acts there that it wasn't as much of like a concert, I guess, but they would make their appearance, sing a couple songs. So we saw like Lil Jon. I'm not very gangster if you can't tell, as hard as I try. I saw Travis Scott, and we also saw Wiz Khalifa. There was literally money coming out of the sky and I couldn't catch $1. Sad day. I couldn't even catch $1, but that's just kind of how I am. So not surprising at all. But that's another thing. Over that holiday weekend, there was definitely more people, you know, longer lines, but some of those acts seemed to go around those times. So it's kind of interesting, kind of cool. Some of the pools that I have gone to there. So when we stay at the Paris, I would usually go to that pool. It's more of a relaxing pool. You get a view of the Eiffel Tower. It's more quiet, at least during the day when I went, it was. So that is a very nice one, just kind of chill. So when we stayed at the Flamingo, that actually had a pool that was for like kids. We didn't go to that one, but they had one right there that had like a DJ at it, and it was more of like a fun pool, like the 21 plus. So that was a lot of fun, and it was nice because it was just like right down there. So that was awesome. We also went one day to the Encore Beach Club and we saw Zed. He performed there, and that was more of like the pool party. That was awesome. I would love to go to another of those. It's just one thing is, you know, it does get a little spendy, and you have like at some of those you have to even pay to sit down or get a table. And we were like, we're not doing that. So we had to eat our chicken strips on the ground, but we made up for it. It was a great time. The pools there are awesome. Pool parties are fun. I haven't really gone to a lot, but I'd like to go to more someday. So I haven't gone to as many of like the clubs there, but the few I have gone to, my mom and I actually, when I turned 21, I was like, please come with me. So we went to the one in the Paris. I can't even remember the name right now. I will find it. So it was interesting. It was an interesting experience. You could go inside, you could go outside on the roof. We didn't stay there too long. We'll just, yeah. It was an interesting experience. And then I've gone to the one in the Cosmo. I don't know why I can't think of any of these names of them right now, but that one was pretty like more of like the club, and there was like this, you could go to this like hidden library, was a room where you could get drinks. So it was pretty cool. It was like huge, like you had to go through all these stairways and staircases. And then we went to the Jewel, is where we saw Lil Jon. So they're pretty fun. I mean, there's a couple I've been to, but there's so much. That's one thing I like about Vegas. There's so much to do other than just that sort of stuff, because I started going there when I was probably 17, before I even turned 21. And there's, you know, that kind of stuff, but there's so much to do other than that too. So I love the variety that you can do there. So now is foodie time, one of my favorite times. Heart. Why do I keep doing the hearts, you may ask? Side note, it's because I'm extra. Extra is what I am. I have been reading the book Basic AF by Stacy Schroeder. She's on Vanderpump Rules, which I've never actually watched, but I love her book. It's about, even if you're basic, just embracing it, and that is who you are. So I've decided, and that is who I am. So I'm just doing more like basic stuff that just makes me extra and weird. So anyways, back to the good stuff. Foodie time. One of my favorite things to do on vacations. Try the food, try new restaurants, the drinks, all that. So one place we like going is P.F. Chang's, which is in Planet Hollywood, right in the middle area. There's also Tao, which is a little bit farther down in the Venetian. A little bit spendier food, but it is awesome, and it is an awesome just setup there. It is an awesome everything about it I love. We've also gone to Senior Frogs, which is in Treasure Island, and that's a pretty fun place. They make like balloon hats for you. Sometimes they'll come put funny signs by you. They have like neon lit ups. We have also eaten at a couple of the Gordon Ramsay restaurants. There's Burger, which is Burgr, and that is also in Planet Hollywood. And then we also have gone to the Pub and Grill by him, and they were both really good. Another thing is the buffets there. Pretty much every hotel there has a huge buffet, and we've gone to quite a few of them. They are awesome. They usually have a theme, but you can get like almost anything you imagine there, dessert, everything. So I would definitely recommend trying out one buffet. And we've also gone to the Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. I always like checking those out wherever I am. So they have one there, and they have like a big volcano in it. And so that's pretty cool. And we also went to I Love This Bar, Toby Keith's restaurant. One of me and my family's favorite places that we go every time is Mon Ami Gabi, which is right in the Paris. And we get their French onion soup every single time, maybe a little wine if, you know, lunchtime, dinner time. You have an awesome view also there of the Bellagio fountains, so they'll probably most likely go off while you're sitting there. So between that, the French onion soup, we love it there. It's just a classy place. And there used to be Sugar, the restaurant in the Paris. I don't think it is there anymore, but we used to like going there. That is where they have the huge drinks that they put candy in, and they'll come out like steaming. And so if you're ever by one of those are pretty awesome. I always like checking out their gift shop too. There's always fun stuff. So one thing about the Cosmopolitan, another like their breakfast foods, I remember we got a smoothie there, and it was amazing. It was more than just a smoothie, you know, it had like a ton of stuff in it. Like you could almost like eat it because it was so like filled with stuff, and it was so good. It was just right on the main level there. And if you're ever there and love smoothies, I have been like craving one of these smoothies, so I need to get one the next time I'm there. One thing about traveling is I think it's just important to keep an open mind. You know, something you might not otherwise eat or want to usually go somewhere like that. A lot of the places that I don't really think I would enjoy or pick first, once we go, I end up loving it. And so that's one thing I think is just important, is about expanding your mind, your horizon, getting yourself out of the norm. You never know what you're going to end up loving. And I think that's part of the fun of it too. I'm like, I would have never guessed that I would have loved this place, and now it's like my favorite. So I think that's an important part of traveling and just day-to-day life too, but keeping an open mind. So a couple of things that I am calling off the beaten path or off the strip are some things that we have done, and maybe taken a taxi or an Uber to get a little bit off the strip. You know, you have to be a little bit careful, but they were some really fun experiences. So I told you how I love like ghost tours and all of that. Well, I took an Uber. I went by myself, and I went to, if any of you have watched Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggin, he has a haunted museum there. And so I actually went on it by myself with a group of people. It was awesome. It actually, like, I don't feel like I get freaked out that easily. I like scary movies, all that. I got freaked out. I don't know if I actually got poked, but I felt like I got poked on my shoulder. By the end, I was like, I don't want to go in the room. So if you want to get scared, it was pretty scary. So after that, I took another lift and I went to the Stratosphere. So if you are a 6 a.m. fan who has, you know, Nikki Sixx, DJ Ashba, I love DJ Ashba. He has a store in the Stratosphere. So I had to go buy some shirts from there. It has this cool like fish tank with skulls in the middle of it, and it's just kind of a cool little shop. So if you're a fan of him or just rock music, it's a cool place to check out. Another place we went was the Mob Museum, and this is one of those places I might not have thought like, oh, let's go there. Once we went, it was, I mean, if you love history, a great place to go, but it was awesome. We were all like, oh my gosh, like we need to go back just so we can spend more time reading all of this information. So just about, you know, the history of Vegas, all of that. It was really cool. One time we were I don't even know where we were trying to go, but we were just trying to go a little bit out of town, and I was like actually asleep in the back, and we wake up and we were in Pahrump, so there's that. We didn't really do much there, but we ended up in Pahrump, so been there. So another place we went was the Hoover Dam, a little bit of a drive, but it is an awesome sight to see. You can get out and walk around it a little bit. Another time we got a bus, we signed up for this bus and we went to the Grand Canyon. It was about a 2-hour drive there, a 2-hour drive back. On the way, I believe they stop at the Hoover Dam, and on the way back, you get to see like the Joshua trees. So it's pretty cool. And obviously, the Grand Canyon was awesome. We went out on the glass walkway, which I thought I was gonna be terrified. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. A little scary, you know. The Grand Canyon was actually a little bit chillier than I thought it was gonna be. So I was just like, oh, and you know, like kind of a tank top. It was pretty cold there, like it started snowing, but obviously that is just an awesome sight to see. Like, it was just awesome. So can't even describe that. You know how awesome it is. But I mean, it's close enough that it's definitely doable, especially if you're there for a couple of days. Definitely worth the drive there. So another time, we went to the pawn shop from Pawn Stars, and at the time I watched that show all the time, so I was like, we need to go here. And we actually saw Chumley, and I got to meet Rick, so I was pretty excited. From there, it was a little bit off the strip, but close enough to the Stratosphere that we went to the top, and there's a restaurant revolving at the top, so we ate there. Pretty cool view. So also over in that area is a mall. It's called like the Fashion Mall. Kind of looks like a spaceship the way the architecture is of it, but there's a lot of stores in there, so we always like hitting that up and getting some shopping in. Always got to do that. So at the other end of the strip is the Vegas sign, and so we went there one time. A friend of mine actually drove us there, which was very nice. And I always thought it was like a little bit closer, like, oh, we'll just walk there. It is a little bit farther off, but it is definitely cool to see. When we went, there was like a line of people, and you just get in line. Once you get up there, you can get your picture with it. So definitely worth seeing, I would say. Another time, I actually got a tattoo there, and I had a friend ask me, like, where should I go that isn't going to be sketchy? So I know tattoos aren't everyone's thing, and there are quite a few places there that are sketchy. But if you're ever considering it, I actually went to Club Tattoo, which is in Planet Hollywood. It is definitely spendy. For something you would get, say, in Montana, you're spending way more. But if that's your thing, I would recommend going there. I had a good experience. My friend had a good experience, so that was kind of cool. I'm trying to think what else. So I don't think they have this anymore, but Treasure Island used to have this awesome, like, pirate ship show where they would battle. So I love pirates and all that kind of stuff, so that was one of my favorite things. Sadly, I don't think they have that anymore. They do still have the ships though, so those are cool to see. When you're walking back down, there's a volcano you go by. I believe that's at like the Mirage, so that's pretty cool. They have like eruptions that go off, and so that's interesting. The first year we went to Harrah's. So we went from the Paris to Bally's, and from there we were able to get a shuttle out to Harrah's, since that is a little bit farther. That probably wouldn't want to walk there. And they, again, I don't know if they still have this show, but they had like a Mardi Gras where they were in these floats in the ceiling, and they would go by and do this like parade thing. So that was pretty cool to see. Haven't been there in a while, but that was also, a lot of those kinds of shows are free, so that's kind of nice if you can just walk down and hit those free shows. So definitely something else kind of interesting. One year when we were there around the beginning of December, we went to the NFR rodeo, and so if you're ever there around that time, if you're a rodeo lover, that is definitely something awesome to see. It's just a huge rodeo, and that was a lot of fun. So a couple of the other extra things that I'm calling it, just things that you might come across when you're walking around, some free things to do, or, you know, if you have younger people with you under 21, some fun things to do. So, well, one thing I did do, which I don't think this is anymore anymore, but it was another haunted house from Eli Roth that he put together. And again, I went by myself. Luckily, one of the girls working, like, kind of came through with me. She actually kind of freaked me out more. It was pretty scary. It was like a legit haunted house. So it was pretty cool. I think around Halloween they might do some stuff like that. And so another thing is the wax museum. That does cost a little money, but I believe they have a haunted part. So if you like haunted stuff, they do have a haunted section you can walk through. So the Bellagio has their huge display that they change with the seasons. So that is always cool to see. We usually see it in the winter. I've seen it in the fall, and they're always changing it. So that's something really awesome to check out. And around the corner from that is a huge chocolate fountain. I believe it's like the world's largest chocolate fountain. You can buy chocolate. There's like a bakery there. So that is really cool to check out. Some of like the animal exhibits we have seen there. There's dolphins at the Mirage. Dolphins are one of my favorite animals. So those are really cool to me to be able to see. They also have an aquarium there. That was pretty cool. And I don't think they have the tigers there anymore, but we were able to see the tigers there when they had them. One thing I forgot to say earlier, as far as the restaurants, Rainforest Cafe. Tigers reminded me. If you love Rainforest Cafe, if you haven't been to one, that is probably one of my top favorite restaurants. So I always love, the animals making sounds, thunderstorms. They have one there, so I would definitely check that out. So over at the Venetian, where they have the wax museum, they also have a boat you can take through the water. So we did that one of the first years we went, and that is pretty cool. You go inside and outside, and they like sing to you. So that's pretty fun. A couple of other things. They have the observation wheel at the Link, the new Link area. So it's huge. Again, that kind of freaked me out, the heights of it. But it's, you're enclosed. It moves. I don't think it ever quits moving because it goes so slow. So it's pretty cool. You get an awesome view daytime or nighttime, whether lights or daytime. So that's cool. Usually the time of year when we go was around November, and they would have like all the NASCAR cars out. So you could see them, go up and look at them. And I don't know if I ever myself saw it. I think I was off doing something. My mom and brother saw where they have they bring the NASCAR cars through town, and they have like a big parade with it and do burnouts and all of that. So that's another thing that they take down the Strip that is cool to see. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bellagio fountains, they go off on a timed schedule, but they go off to music, and those are free if you just happen to be walking by them or plan to be walking by them when they're going off. That is really cool to see. One of my favorite things, because I like taking pictures, is the people that dress up, and you have to give them a few bucks to take your picture with them. But I always like doing that. You never know what you're gonna come across. Like, there's some funny ones out there, and some of those free acts that they'll stop and start performing on the street. I always think those are kind of fun to stop and check out at least a time or two, if you've never seen it before. So obviously, if you like to gamble, there's a ton of gambling. I don't have the best of luck, so occasionally I will gamble, or 20 bucks here and there, win a little bit. Can get free drinks, which is kind of nice. But I love that the games are themed there. So there's like the Britney Spears and like the Goonies and like Harley Davidson, like all the fun themes is my favorite part. I don't bet enough because I'm like, I just need to make my money last so that I don't lose it all and I can just like enjoy this game. So, but obviously, ton of gambling, sometimes free music, free entertainment while you're gambling that you can listen to. You never know what's going to go on there. That's what I love about it. It's like an adult playground. It's just like fun. But like I said, it can be fun for all ages. There's the M&M store. We always like going to that. I still love going to that. So the Coca-Cola store, they have the big polar bear walking around. So those are down at the New York. Those are fun. They have the roller coaster there. I did that back in my younger, braver days. Not so much anymore, but it's kind of cool. I mean, it's just like there's endless possibilities of stuff you can do there, and that's what I love about going back time after time and being able to do something different every single time. Get to revisit some of the stuff you love, and there's always something new to do. So one thing I was all about when I first turned 21 was the huge drinks you can get in the big cups, and you can get different fun things, and that was always fun to me. That might be a little bit past now, better in my younger years, but I don't know, every once in a while, something like that's kind of fun. The last time we visited, there was actually like a robot, I believe it was in Planet Hollywood, that would make drinks for you. I think we just watched people do it. You would like type it in, and this robot would shake them up and make your drink. So that was something I had never seen before. Kind of fun, kind of interesting, something different. So I feel like I've covered a ton of information. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm anyone. I probably, though, could just like keep going on and on and on. And I won't do that right now. But like I said, there might be a part 2 coming. If you have any questions or something specific you want me to cover, definitely feel free to comment, reach out to me. I will try and add in a couple pictures of things I've talked about. So stick around. A couple pictures will pop up. Like I've said before, you know the drill. If you want to see more pictures of this stuff from the past and coming up, I always post them on my Instagram. So at @_traveling. On that note, though, I hope you enjoyed some of this. If you haven't been to Vegas, I hope you were just so excited to go there someday. If you've been there before, I hope you have some new ideas of things to try out. Literally, like, one of my favorite places to go. I just love heart. My other hand's over here. I love Vegas. I hope you do too, or will someday. I will see you next Thursday, and we will be going and talking about New Orleans. That is another one of my favorite places. It is just an awesome town. So make sure to check back then if you want to learn some about New Orleans. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, start to your next week, and I will talk to you later, guys. Bye.